Hey everyone, in this video I'd like to share with you a few different types of guitars that I'm interested in, maybe owning and definitely trying. These are guitars that I'm generally always on the lookout for and ones that I'm interested in, either because of similar models which I've had or perhaps just from reading up about them and seeing if they are as good as what their reputation makes them sound like. So it goes without saying, if you have any of these or you're interested in trading them or maybe even selling them, then shoot me an email if you've got any of the guitars on this list. Without further ado, let's get into the video. The first guitar that makes me curious on my hit list here is a Gibson ES330 reissue. Regular viewers of this channel will know that I actually have a vintage 330, one from 1967, which is an amazing guitar. I'm very happy with that, and that's going nowhere at the time of this recording. But I am just curious to see how a reissue kind of compares. I've tried one which wasn't that great, but then again I've tried vintage ES330s that weren't that great either. So I'm kind of looking for a good one. Ideally a 1959 reissue, pre-2018 really. That's kind of the era of Gibsons that I'm most interested in. And the reason why I'm interested in having another 330, at least for a short period of time, would be just to kind of compare it against the vintage model, but equally some of the desirable features that I like on the early 330s can be found on a reissue, and obviously the early 330s are getting quite high in price, so it's kind of unlikely that I'm ever going to have a dot neck 330, for example. So the reissue kind of 330 is a good way of getting there. So some of the features that I like on those are the dot neck. I like the black P90 pickup covers. Some of the early 330s have the pickup a little bit closer to the body. I'm not sure if the reissues do that, but yeah, I'd be very curious to kind of try ideally a 1959 330 reissue, just to see what it's like against the older ones. So that is guitar number one that makes me curious, which is on my hit list. This video is sponsored by my free beginner jazz guitar guide. So if you're new to jazz and you want a structured guide on getting started, then please check out my free beginner jazz guitar school. You can enroll using the link below this video. The next type of guitars that I'm interested in are heritage jazz guitars. I've never actually tried heritage guitars before, but I've only heard good things. They seem, from what I can tell, as good as Gibsons, but they really come at a much lower price tag. So I'm interested in the jazz guitar models which have kind of, maybe one or two humbuckers, not massively into floating pickups, and I'm not really into the 335 style guitars. So, any of the kind of standard Golden Eagle type of heritages, or, anything around that line. It could be something smaller than that, like a Sweet 16. Those type of guitars kind of really interest me. I've never owned one, never played them before, but they seem to have all the features of a good Gibson, and some people even say that the quality on heritage guitars is a little bit more consistent than what Gibson is. So I definitely like to own or try a heritage jazz guitar at some point, just to see what they're like. The next type of guitars that interest me are Guild guitars. As regular viewers of this channel will know, I actually own a Guild X170 at the time of recording this video, which is a great guitar, and I'm a massive fan of Guild guitars, and that is one of my favourite guitars which I have in my collection, which is why it was featured on my top 3 workhorse guitars video, which I did a couple of months ago, if you haven't seen that, which kind of goes into a little bit more detail about the X170. So because I've owned the X170, that's obviously sparked my interest in other Guild models. I'd be very curious to own and try a Guild X500, any period really. I've heard good things about the ones from the 70s, 80s. Really, I want the ones that have kind of humbuckers. I'm not really interested in kind of the Franz pickups or whatever, but I'm really interested in the ones that have those signature kind of Guild humbuckers, because I really like the sound of those pickups, and I think they maybe put those in. They were definitely in by the 70s, but it could be earlier. And that would be kind of, the X500 is the laminate top Guild guitar, and it's kind of similar to my X170, but it's kind of more of a conventional jazz guitar. It's a little bit bigger, and I would be curious to kind of get one of those. I had the opportunity to purchase one of those about 10 years ago, and I regret not getting that at the time, so I'd love another chance to buy an X500. So literally any time from the 70s, 80s, maybe one of the ones made in the Westerly, Rhode Island factory would be good to try as well. Following that, I'm also interested in some of the carved top gill guitars as well. So something like an X700, definitely an artist award. I've tried a couple of artist awards and they are exceptionally great guitars as well. So those are definitely kind of dream bucket list guitars for me. Artist awards obviously are a little bit higher up in the food chain than say maybe an X500, but you know, they're kind of a great way of getting something like, you know, a Gibson Johnny Smith or something that's similar to a Gibson L5 at a much lower price than what an L5 or any kind of Gibson would really get you, which is probably why I haven't included, other than the first kind of ES330 reissue, I haven't really included too many Gibsons on this list because realistically the prices, especially on the older ones or the models that I like, the jazz guitar models, they're just kind of too high for me to compete with. The final guitar which I'm interested to own will probably not come as a surprise because regular viewers of this channel will know that I'm a massive Telecaster fan. So the last guitar which I'd like to own at some point is a Telecaster with a humbucker as opposed to the kind of lipstick neck pickup which is the conventional pickup, which I am a big fan of, by the way, don't get me wrong. But about a year ago I had the chance to try a Telecaster with a humbucker in it. It was one of those kind of American vintage reissue Telecasters, and the humbucker sounded incredible. It sounded really good, but that particular guitar was a 70s reissue Telecaster, so it kind of had like the Les Paul configuration with 2 volumes, 2 tones and the oversized scratch plate, which I'm not massively into that look, to be honest. Yeah, it's not really a look that I'm a massive fan of, but the guitar itself sounds great. So what I would probably like if I could have a Telecaster with a humbucker would be something which is the more conventional Telecaster design, but just with a humbucker in the neck. So I'd still like to have the 1 volume, 1 tone, etc., and just kind of work with that. So it really kind of is more of that Ed Bickett type of Telecaster. I know that he started with a single coil pickup and then he switched to a neck. His sound wasn't really that different when he switched to a neck pickup, at least to my ears, but really just for curiosity, I'd be curious to kind of have a Telecaster with a humbucker. And I guess I'd also be open and interested in a Telecaster which has a P90 in the neck pickup as well. And I think Julian Large even has one which has a Gretsch pickup or something like that as a neck pickup. So yeah, certainly some kind of Telecaster which has a different neck pickup than the conventional lipstick pickup that you find. Those are the guitars that make me curious, those are the ones that I'm interested in. What I'd like to know is, what guitars are you on the lookout for? Which guitars would you like to try? Please share your thoughts in the comment section below, and if you like this video and you want more content like this, then please subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.